Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Matt Gear and this is Matt Gear TV on YouTube. With a bit of luck, you knew that already. If not, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. So today I've got a short lesson for you with a riff, which I'm going to show you that I wrote last week. Now, it's quite a cool riff. I quite like it. But I'm going to teach it to you because, well, for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's not the kind of riff that I would put into one of my songs because it's a little bit too metal for me, but I kind of like it. I thought you might like it as well, and that's the kind of guy I am, so I thought I'd show you how it goes. Secondly, after the diatonic lessons that I've been putting up over the last couple of weeks, this is a scale-based riff, and so what it kind of shows you is how you can actually use those diatonic shapes to form a riff and how this riff sits within that diatonic framework. Thirdly, there's some interesting picking going on. It's not super technical or super difficult as a riff, but there's some good picking, and it actually works quite nicely as a bit of an exercise for you. So either, if you like the riff, you want to take it away, use it yourself, that's absolutely cool. Alternatively, it's just a good exercise and it's good fun to play because it sounds quite chunky. Fourthly, people sometimes ask, how do you go about writing riffs? How do you go about writing licks? And I'm going to tell you how I came up with this riff and how I sort of developed the ideas and put things together and got it to the state that it's in now. So let's have a listen to the riff, see what you think, and then I'll break it down and you can start figuring out how it works. Okay, check it out. So the riff came about because I was running some scale drills and I came up with a little melodic phrase which was the first 4 or 5 notes of the riff. And I was playing this in the Phrygian shape, so this is shape 3. Starting first finger on the E note, 7th fret on the low A string. So that is the Aeolian scale, the minor mode. So what we're playing it to start off with is E minor, the Aeolian mode. Now, what I wanted to do was include that note there, the D, and then slide back into the E. But what I realised is that there was no way of doing that without changing positions. I had to move the position of my hand on the fretboard, which I didn't really want to do. I mean, you do move your hand around, obviously, all the time to change positions, but it was a little bit clumsy and a little bit clunky. What I realised is that if I switch the Ionian shape, and in this case it would be G Ionian, I could actually play the same melody, but rather than having the first finger on the 7th fret of the A string, the E note, it's actually going to have the little finger, have the pinky there instead. So rather than having to play with some clumsy shifts in, I could play that little melodic phrase all in the same position, all without moving my hand, which is much, much better. It's much easier, it sits under the fingers really nicely. So that as a little phrase by itself, and again, it's quite nice, it's quite melodic, it's in E minor. That could be anything really, that could be a vocal melody, it could be the start of a solo, whatever you want really. But for the purposes of this, it's the start of a riff. So let's have a look at that melody close up so you can see the notes of the first part of the riff. So as I said, we're starting on the 7th fret of the A string, which is an E, and we're playing that with the pinky, with the little finger. Then we're moving on to the D string, 4th fret with the first finger, 5th fret with the second finger, and And these are all notes from that G Ionian shape, which you should be familiar with if you've had a look at the diatonic lesson 1. If not, check it out here. So 7th fret A string, 4th fret and 5th fret D string, 4th fret on the G string, 7th fret, 5th fret and 4th fret on the D string, then down to 5th fret on the A string. So slowly and up close. One more time. Don't worry too much about the picking at the moment, because we're going to be talking about the picking later. We're actually going to double pick these, so every single note will be a down up. So each note that you start will be a downstroke. So probably for the purposes of this, pick everything with a downstroke. Don't worry about doing alternate picking or directional picking. So that's the first part, and what that's outlining with a melodic phrase is the E minor. Okay, so that's the E minor part of the riff. Now I realised if we come back to the E every time, we get stuck in a bit of a loop. So what I want to do is extend this. So when we get to the D note here, 5th fret on the A string, rather than sliding up from the D to the E, or moving up from the D to the E, what I'm going to do is slide down to the 3rd fret C on the A string. Okay, so now we've changed position. We've played everything in one position. Now I'm moving down to position 2, which is index finger over the 2nd fret, and on the 3rd fret with the 2nd finger on the A string, I'm playing the C. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to play a C triad. So this is the 1 major third 5 of the C major triad. But I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, back to the 1. So that's 3rd fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D, 5th fret on the D, excuse me, 5th fret on the D. And now I'm going to slide to the D, 5th fret on the A string, rolling the middle finger onto the 5th fret on the D string. So what I don't want is these two notes to ring at the same time. I pick, and as I roll, the finger is muting the string that I've just picked. So what I'm doing is rolling on the 5th fret from the A string to the D string. 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. So what we've got is and then we're back to the beginning again. On the second time round I'm doing something slightly different, because rather than playing 5th fret, roll down to the 5th fret on the D string, 4th fret, 5th fret, I'm playing 5th fret, pinky on the 7th of the D string, down to the 5th in the D string, and then rolling in the other direction back to the 5th fret on the A string before going back to the E. So there's our riff as a melody. Obviously we've not put the overdrive on it yet, we've not started rocking it up yet, but that's the bare bones of it. And what we're doing, we can see that the riff is actually outlining a chord progression, and that chord progression is an E minor, then a C major, then a D major, and then back to the E. So if you were playing this with somebody, or you're playing this along to a jam track, what you could do is you could make up a jam track that's E minor, cycling through C major, D major, and back to E. And that's a good way to start working this up, and then you can sort of start improvising around it and turning it into maybe a lead line, into a bit of a solo. So that's the melody, and what I'm doing now is I want to rock it up a bit. So to start off with, I'm going to turn the volume up a bit. I'm going to whack a load of gain on it. And you can hear straight away that it turns from quite a pleasant little melodic line into quite a punchy, driving riff. What I'm also doing with that as well is I'm palm muting it. So rather than letting all the notes ring out, rather than letting the notes ring out like that, I'm palm muting them to deaden the notes a little bit more, so it's a bit more rhythmic. It's got some more, it's heavier. It's got some chug to it. Finally, to chunk it up even more than that, what I'm going to do is basically double pick all of the notes. So that really gives it a lot more drive. So check this out. So there it is. That's my riff. Go away and do what you will with it. I hope you like it. You can see how a riff works, how you can build a riff from quite simple beginnings, and how you can turn it from a quite simple and quite pretty melodic line actually into something that's got a lot more bite and a lot more chug and chunk to it. And also hopefully you can see how that fits within the framework of the diatonic shapes that I've been showing you previously. So take it away, learn it if you like, change it around, write a song out of it if you like. And if you do that, and you want me to have a look at it, feel free to video it yourself and post as a video response to this video as well. So there it is, there's a riff. I've been Matt Gear, this has been Matt Gear TV. I hope you've enjoyed it. You guys take it easy. If you want to, do subscribe to my channel, that'd be great. Thanks very much. If not, that's cool as well. So until next time, you guys take it easy. I've been Matt Gear, this has been Matt Gear TV. I'll see you soon. Cheers.